All right, all right. Hey guys, welcome back to volume 6 of Interactive Chat. Really appreciate all the support and kind words that you guys have been giving me for this week. Of course, PSVR Gamescast Live will return next week, starting Monday. So this is our last little intimate time together. And to be honest with you, there's not like tons of crazy news, but we do have some awesome news to cover. But I also wanted to take the time to have a little discussion about some things, some last things I want to get off my chest before we resume to a normal scheduled programming. What is up, Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house? Good to see you. Thank you. Good to see everybody. Some fat spooky underwear Game Cat. I love how you're still rocking the spooky month stuff. Spooky month goes on because we still have spooky games coming out and updates on them as well. What's up, Vargolsoft? Good to see you guys. As people start getting in here, let's go ahead and kick things off with a little. It is November 5th, so I just want to say remember the 5th of November. The gunpowder treason and plot. I don't know why it shall ever be forgot. It's been a while since I've recited that poem or remember it. If you haven't seen V for Vendetta, go see that movie. It is freaking awesome and it is super cool and cannot recommend V for Vendetta enough. I watch it every 5th of November. Today will be no exception. And shout out to Lewis Knight, PSVR, who posted on Twitter like that. He hasn't posted in like a year and then he posts that. So that's cool. But yeah, man, we have a ton of news. Good to see you guys. Kevin Tech, glad you got to hit it, get in from the start. We got a lot to go over and really excited. Again, happy Friday. Happy Braxbrosis. Happy 2.0 day, even though the update came out early yesterday. Firebird Old School, thank you so much for the 50 Securos. Happy Friday to you as well, guys. Really excited to get this going. And what's up, Matrix? All right, guys. So I wanted to, as people get in here, whatnot, I wanted to kick things off with a little discussion. And we do have some news to go over as well. I usually do the news first, but we're going to shake things up because I want to have this discussion. And just for the record, this is not supposed to be like an inflammatory or negative discussion or anything. This is just a discussion, and there's going to be some positive things to go over as well. But I think it's a really important subject, and I don't think it's something that a lot of media. I've seen a couple media outlets like talk about this before, but essentially, I wanted to talk about how the silence that Sony goes into on occasion, and some of their communication, and and the effect that has, and whether it's a problem or not. I'd love to see what people's opinions as well. I'm always going to be trying to look at the chat as best as possible, but I can't help but feel like ever since the new leadership that there is a different approach to things, and it's not always a bad thing. But I do think that there is an issue. Personally, I think there's an issue at least right now, or that's going to be happening in the future. And it's more about that. It's more about like what they're doing right now. I think is okay right now, as a lot of things. There's been so much change occurring. There's been so much, there's a new generation that started. But Sony have really scrapped the way they've done things in the past and kind of started a new way of doing things. And I think I guess my concern is more about the future. I feel like, as the lead up to the PS5 launch, I feel like, we'd get these little sprinkles of messaging and whatnot, and there wasn't a lot of transparency about what was going on, and there was a lot of unknowns. I mean, you could pre-order the PS5 and at one point, and we still didn't know like what certain things were, or how they were going to work or how they were going to look. And so it was really strange to me. And I feel like everybody is doing a lot of things behind the scenes. They're doing, working on lots of things, but I feel like on the surface, my problem with the communication or lack thereof, there's all these little things. And somebody asked me recently, they're like, I don't know your issues that you've talked about. I feel like I've talked about them a million times, but when somebody said, what are these issues that you're talking about? I wanted to go ahead and address it. So let's open it up to the chat real quick. Let me read some of your comments real quick. Bambino Ramos says it's definitely a problem. It feels like they think their shit don't stink. Like they don't have to put any effort in promotion communication. They definitely need better transparency. Yeah, that's one way to put it. It can certainly happen. And you know, that's the thing is like all this comes from a Sony fan, a PlayStation fan. None of this is malicious or supposed to be meant to attack. But it's hopefully just it's a way of, it's kind of a little bit of venting and a little bit of like a wake up, like give them a wake up call too. But Brax Bros says, I really hope that reveal is next month. I told some friends at dinner last night not to get a PSVR because the new one is rumored to be coming out soon. Yeah. That's the thing here, is that there is a rumored event supposed to be happening in December. And the concern, there's not the concern, but I think it is a critical moment in time. I think it is a critical point for PlayStation and the brand and its identity. And when it all comes down to it, I feel like November and December are going to be pivotal, and they're going to tell us a lot. They're going to basically, November, December is going to tell me everything I need to know about this regime that is in charge. And like I said, I know there's tons of people working behind the scenes. I actually read about, I didn't know a lot about Herman Holst, and I read about him some from one of these interviews that he did. And, it's strange to me that somebody that is, when you're a leadership position, I don't mind. Like I think he seems like a good guy for the most part. He seems like he has this focus on teamwork and building teams. It sounds like he's got a lot of team assembling that he's doing behind the scenes. The difference between him and previous leadership was that, like, you don't see him very often. He's doing all these things, but before you saw that, like, people like Shuhei Yoshida were very hands-on. They were very hands-on approach. They were these really, Sean Layden were these huge personalities, and not everything they did was perfect either. But you'd always see them like trying to push and be creative and be innovative and have a character about them. When there was something important that needed to be talked about or announced, you would always see Andrew House, Shuhei Yoshida, Sean Layden, one of those guys, even Jack Tretton. You'd always see one of those guys front stage and center to talk about the status of things, to talk about the goals, talk about all these things. Even Mark Cerny doing his GDC. And I feel like with E3 being removed, like Sony has been removed themselves from E3, and I think that's fine. The problem is I don't think they've found a proper solution to replace that yet. They have, the good news is that they have all of the right tools in place, but I don't think they've utilized them properly. And really, the frustration that I get sometimes is the silence, the long periods of nothing, and then just, yeah, we come out, we get a showcase, and it's either hit or it's miss. But there's, other than that, there's no extra thing. I mean, Brian and I do this show for you guys 3 days a week. We come out 3 days a week, even when there's hardly anything to talk about. we go on and we try to be entertaining. We try to discuss any news that's popped up, and we try to always be really transparent with you guys, and just try to have some fun and try to generate some fun and excitement. And that is something that the last regime was really good at. I mean, I don't think it's any coincidence that they sold 110 plus million PS4s. They didn't do that because of the success of the PS3. They continued even, from launch all the way up until 19, when they either left or changed positions. They definitely earned that 110 million people buying PlayStation 4s, and they didn't do that by just simple things. They experimented, they tried things. Even if they failed, they really gave it their best shot. And that's what I hope to see the change when December comes around, or whenever we get this event. If it's not like a really good showcase, then I'm gonna definitely be a little concerned and be like, okay, well, I guess, am I supposed to just expect this for the next 6 years or something, where the media, the leaks, everything is giving me more insight into what is actually going on there. But I hope to see improvements in the games, in the marketing. I've taken another look at this last state of play. It is not just us that love PSVR that were unhappy with this this showcase. I know some people like some of the things, but there's this is an example of the communication problem that I'm talking about here. Is that a lot of people, they did this good gesture of giving 3 PlayStation Plus games this month, which were awesome games, really cool thing to do to celebrate the 5-year anniversary. But there was so much chatter, so much online chatter about people not knowing that the Persistence also had a flat screen mode. And so there were some people, it got to the point to where Firesprite Games actually noticed people talking about this so much, and even just today had to tweet out and say, hey, the Persistence is a free game this month. Don't forget, it's also playable in non-VR for those that are interested. And this was one of those announcements that I was saying should have been on the state of play, should have been on the main stage. Because the thing is that when I say they have a communication problem, they have all the right tools, they have a lot of the right things happening, but they're not showing it all the time. You have to really, to keep up with PSVR 2, you can actually, they are saying some of the right things. The problem is they're buried in lots of other information and conversations. And they are saying a lot of things that are making me hopeful, things I'm excited about. But man, to be able to find it is like needle in a haystack hard. You have to go to the PlayStation blog and you have to go through paragraphs of stuff, and you just find that one line that you're looking for out of the whole thing. And to me, I've expressed my frustrations with the PlayStation blog posting. There was an announcement today that I saw got posted, and it had a video with it. And part of that video said 6,000 views. And that's nothing, man. When you have 110 million strong player base, why are you relegating this information to just a player base of 6,000 people, whom of which most likely are, those aren't guaranteed sales or anything. Nothing is guaranteed. The reason developers can be successful on PS4 is because there's 100 million people, and of that 100 million, you get a couple million out of it, and that secures the developers. That takes care of developers. But when you hide everything and when you have 110 million people and you don't even tell them from the front and center of the stage, I don't know. They've sucked a little bit of the the eventfulness out of things. You know, I understand there are limitations, but you can't tell me that they can't make a video of somebody on a stage presenting something. I mean, Mark Cerny did it for the GDC conference. Remember that whole spiel? I mean, first of all, I thought that conference was pretty good. I had to watch it a couple times because it was pretty advanced shit. But remember, people were like dying for any PSVR news and anything, any kind of event. And it just feels a little sloppy right now. I mean, it doesn't seem like it is that hard to do, to communicate, to have the people that are like, you know, if you're the head of the studios, or head of the whole Sony PlayStation Studios, I just feel like you should be a little bit more conversational, a little bit more upfront. Instead, look at me. I'm here. I'm nobody, and I'm up here. I'm up here talking to you guys like I'm the leader of something. I'm not. But I just feel like somebody has to say these things. Somebody has to be vocal enough, and you know, so there's a couple questions around it. Like how much of this is on the pandemic? We were just having a conversation in Discord about you know, the effects that a lot of the shippings and stuff have had, and yes, I do believe that has something to do with it, but that's not going to get you by for long. At some point, they're going to have to take responsibility and you know, be proactive. A lot of stuff seems like a little too reactive for my liking. I don't want Sony to be a follower. Like, that's the thing that bothers me, is like they are leaders in the market. They are leaders in the industry, and they're very reactive. And I kind of just, I guess I long for the leaders that we had before that were beating us to the punch. There would always be some fun surprise, or there'd be some amazing surprise. Now it's like we go these long droughts of nothing, and then it's like sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. And I just really hope, yeah. And MRI Gamer says, especially when everyone uses these excuses nowadays. Yeah. The pandemic was a real thing that, you know, a lot of the developers and whatnot had to deal with, but that's not going to be a good excuse forever. Especially when you see other companies that are having no problem at all. You see their stuff all over the shelves, and you're potentially a bigger company, should have it covered. So, you know, it'll be really interesting to see how they go about with this presentation. And, you know, like I said, a real quick recap on some of the woes that I had. Yeah, Matrix says, in other words, they're getting comfy, but people going to be demanding more. Yeah, I paid $500 for this console, and I want to get the most out of it. Oh, God, what is that? I want to get the most out of it. You know, I want to have stuff to play on it, and you know, let's see. Like I said, my problem is that this strategy is not going to work in the long run. I think things have definitely been much worse. There has been a time of arrogant Sony, where they were like, oh, you know, I think everybody remembers, most of us should remember, where we were like, man, PS3 is $600. Wow. And they were like, well, go get a second job. So it's been much worse. They're just very conservative right now. And like I said, after reading into Herman Hulst's little interviews and stuff, trying to get to know him a little bit more, I think he's got a lot of great skill sets. But he definitely does not have like the huge personality. Yeah, Matrix says PS3 era was wild. It was, because Sony got off to an awful start, and then by the end of it actually brought it back. And a lot of that stuff, a lot of that goodwill and whatnot translated to the launch of PS4 that they had built up. And then they capitalized on that even more. They doubled down on their listening to developers, listening to the audience and stuff. having some personality, having some fun, and bringing some excitement. And that translated into 110 million PS4s sold. Now I look at this regime, and they're saying stuff like they're frustrated with the lack of attachment rate on games and software. They're already looking at wanting to be as big as the movie industry and other industries that are bigger, and I think that's dangerous. I think that's dangerous, especially when you are not sticking to the things that made you successful to begin with. I think you can try to expand on those things. Certain things I understand and don't have a problem with, like some games, this is going to be probably a divisive thing. But they're, they're starting to bring games that were exclusives to PC. I'm not really totally against that. I get it. AAA games and huge games are really expensive, and if they have a way to kind of double dip with that and sell it again years later, it does cost a little bit of the brand name, a little bit of the identity that the console has. But I think if those games are so expensive and you can't, that's not sustainable to keep going that route, then I think it is a decent strategy to do so later on. And in my eyes, whenever there's a great game, as much as I love, I think when it comes to mascots and really iconic characters, I do like to see them be kind of exclusive, that in the way that they kind of are the identity of the brand. But at the end of the day, when more people get to experience great games, I think there's nothing necessarily wrong about that. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it. But yeah, so that's, like I said, long story short, I'm looking forward to this event, and I'm going to be judging a lot by this next event that they hold. And I really hope they go big with PSVR 2. Right now, the thing that I'm worried about is that just how unprepared they seem like they were. I mean, they've talked about developing PSVR 2 for a while. They've talked about it. They've been doing lots of stuff behind the scenes, but everything feels like it gets rushed last second to where they can actually begin putting these things together. And then that's when you have those issues that are kind of that's when you get those issues where stuff like the UI that the PS5 has and some of the other things. Yes, long story, 22-minute rant, long story short. But like I said, man, when we get that showcase, I hope we see games. I want to see better marketing turn it around. I think they could still be showing off some cool things. I want to see the services, stuff like movie theater apps, different apps that are integrated into this, stuff like the interactive UI, themes, maybe a home that you can have. I hope it's not just a bare bones thing. I hope it's not here's the headset, here's a couple games. I really would love a return to form of going on the stage. Give me some of the boring statistics stuff and give me some of the boring services stuff on the side, and then give me the games as well. As long as it's games. But PSVR 2 is going to be a new venture into a new realm, and it's going to be something really special. I've said it before. Two hot takes for you, Endeavor One. Hot take number one: video games are the way that VR goes mainstream. There's a lot of people in VR that do all sorts of stuff. They're obsessed with the tech, and they want it to be, they want it to advance. They want it to be mainstream. Video games are your answer, and I think a lot of the people out there don't see that just yet. They don't realize that everybody is gravitating towards VR right now because of the games. That's what's going to do it. And then it can expand beyond that afterward. But that's what's going to get it started. The other hot take I have for you is that PSVR 2 is going to be the next, the biggest generational leap between the PS4 and PS5. I think is the next headset. That's going to be amazing. Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry says, porn. I mean, games. That's true. There's probably a large margin of VR users that just use it for that. But there still should be tons of gamers. All right, guys. Let me see. We're about to get into some news. I hope you're ready. Strap in. Haseeb Mirza says game developers with PhDs don't necessarily have a pulse on their consumers. Yes. Again, if the leadership doesn't want to be the ones going up on stage and talking about, all these things, get somebody to do it. There's somebody that is more than capable. If you don't want to go up there and have a personality and really be more transparent, get a PR guy. That's what was that goofy guy that PlayStation used to have? Just some sort of identity needs to be built, and they need to be a little bit more proactive. They need to be a little bit more transparent. That's just return to form a little bit. All right. So who have I missed here? Welcome, guys. Good to see all of you. Genetic Blasphemy, Reverse Engineer Game Cat, thank you for the donation. Says, seems like Metaface changing its whole identity to revolve around VR might shake Sony awake. I don't think so. Honestly, Sony has really been letting Meta kind of slap them around a little bit, and that's surprising to me. It feels like they're more like a sleeping giant than they are like these huge leaders in the industry. But I am optimistic. I think all the stuff in the future. Kevin Butler, thank you, JT Money. And Braxburst is specifically the guy in the Crash Bandicoot costume. Yeah. What's up, guys? I think I'm actually very surprised that Sony has kind of been so passive about the whole VR marketing situation. They had a little backlash because of some not great decisions. Again, when they got rid of E3, they set the expectations on these new state of plays, and people were used to these huge events, huge like gatherings with these enormous showcases, laser beams going, fireworks, all this stuff, and then they went a full VR push, and I don't think that was the wisest of decisions. And they still, to this day, have issues setting expectations with state of plays. And so it's really, really strange to me that it just, to me, I get the sense of like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. If at sometimes there's a lack of communication between Sony themselves that needs to get fixed, and then that needs to get and then that needs to come to us once it gets fixed. They should really be blowing us away with every presentation, or making every presentation entertaining to some degree. There's enough variety. Again, all the games, all the announcements, all the services, all this cool stuff is there. And the fact that they're not utilizing it properly is what bothers me. But yeah, Haseeb Mirza says, it seems like Meta might be transitioning away from games. They're definitely, that was the one big thing that said, woof. Like I'm really happy about some of the things Meta is doing, but when they, had one game announcement and then said, we're going to be focused on being a social device, I was very surprised, actually, because to me, it seems so obvious that it's just games are going to sell headsets. And then all that other stuff should come after. But you're not going to sell people on this universe that's in VR. You're going to sell people on games first, because that's what people want, is the good gaming and entertainment. Looper the Game Cat says, one thing that's better in PCVR than PSVR is that you can play background music or something else through the same headphones with a game. I'm playing Half-Life Alyx. Well, you can do that on PSVR. You can, I guess it's limited to maybe Spotify, but Spotify has just about everything. So, I don't think I really have a problem with that. I usually want the games to have really good music. I love video game music. I don't know about you guys. But anyways, honestly, that was a lot longer than I was expecting it to be. But like I said, I'm gonna be judging by this when we get our PS5 PSVR 2 showcase, hopefully sooner than later, because the silence is deafening at this point. And I thought at one point they said they were going to show us more throughout the year, and it's like it hasn't been that. Maybe we misread. I went back to the article, and it seemed like it had been changed or something. So I don't know if that was changed. But anyways, I really would love a little bit more communication. Anyways, so we do have some news to talk about now. Welcome everybody just joining. Good to see you. Really appreciate all of the things. Like I said, been a little bit of a slow news day today, but there's definitely some interesting things to talk about. One of them was a patent that was shown by Upload VR, or it was actually originally shown on Reddit, and then Upload did a little article on it from my dude Jamie Feltham over there. It says PlayStation patent filing shows work on eye tracking with foveated rendering. So there's been a couple patents that have come out lately, and there's been some speculation about them. And yeah, this is one that we kind of already knew about because of leaks, not because of, not because of Sony's communication, but because of leaks that have happened. We are finding about this information. And these aren't rumored leaks. These aren't like rumors that we heard about earlier. These were legit leaks that came out. And when you look at some of the stuff that we heard about earlier this year, part of that was foveated rendering and eye tracking. So this is potentially, while you have to not really take every patent seriously because you don't know what's going to make it into the final headset and not, this is one that is likely, at least even if it's different, this is still a feature that we are expecting to see. And the significance of it is that eye tracking, so foveated rendering is like wherever you're looking or focused on, it will only generate or render the graphics where you're looking in more detail. And what that does is it allows you to, if it's combined with eye tracking, it allows to free up a lot of resources from the CPU and GPU so that wherever you're looking is only where it's generating the most like highest fidelity graphics, and it just frees up a lot of space. So this is something I am expecting to see in the next gen. Of course, the other things were the Fresnel OLED 2000 by 2040 per eye, 110 field of view, HDR, headset haptics, stuff about like bundled controllers, focus on, that was all the other stuff. The other tech specs include adjustable IPD from 59 to 72, native 90 and 120 hertz support, which you would expect since the PSVR 1 does 120 hertz, inside out tracking, which I think they already did confirm. And then there's like a couple other cool features, but the headset looks really, really promising. And I'm really excited about it. And, here's like a picture from it that is like, it's basically, I guess, displaying, this is like basically where the full car is being rendered. And then this is, I guess, where only their looking is being rendered. If I read that correctly, I think that's it. But anyways, just a cool little thing that popped up. We're starting to see these patents, and I guess some media outlets are starting to question, does that mean we will be seeing more soon? And my answer is I sure as hell hope so. Next, we have Crisis Brigade 2, man. I saw some people tuning in here, and they said that they caught the stream earlier. Appreciate you checking it out. Let's go ahead and get some of that going right here. Crisis Brigade 2 launched an update today that added the time attack mode. And I got to check this out earlier. If you missed the stream, we'll do a quick review on it. But yeah, this was a nice surprise, and this was something we were actually expecting last week. But at least we didn't have to wait a year for it, right? But it adds 3 new modes, or 3 new levels, which is one called Genesis, one called Wake Up, and one called like World War Z or something. And it's basically a Matrix, a Matrix, Terminator, and zombie outbreak, a couple levels. And man, the one you're seeing right now is the Matrix. God, it is so difficult. Actually, this is the Terminator one. I loved seeing this. If you're a fan of good action movies, you'll get a kick out of this. And all I'll say about this is what I love about this is they got back to their roots of what I loved about Time Crisis in the first place, which was them taking kind of these movie themes, action movie themes, and taking their Time Crisis inspired style and combining the two. So get a little like movie arcade experience. Let's see, is there a way to actually go to the? I guess during this footage, I did die a bunch. That's the Matrix one. Here's a look at the zombies. The zombie one is probably the weakest of the 3 because it's kind of just a basic. It's kind of just a basic wave shooter kind of thing. But still, I think overall it was a lot of fun, and definitely go check it out. I couldn't believe I beat the thing. I thought I had no idea, and I thought I was gonna just get my ass handed to me. It is really hard. So like if you watch my stream, I'm a little frustrated, and then eventually I start feeling better as I start beating it. But I guess the last thing I'll say on this is that when it comes to Crisis Brigade 2, I really like that they've filled out the game with enough content now that I feel like kind of reaches the right price point. And I feel like the game feels like a $20 game now versus like a $10 or $15. So I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff here, man. Definitely go check it out if you get the chance. It's a lot of fun. And, what up, JTB? Guy sent this one to you. Killer Artist JT Money. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome. Thank you, Mike Check, as well. Yeah, it's been tough, man, but I'm really excited to get back to normal Games Cast with Brian next week. And hopefully, I think he picked a good time to take a little vacation because like I said, I'm still expecting lots of stuff to happen this month, but maybe, I don't know. A lot of people don't have a lot of faith that there's going to be anything huge going down. Before we move on, that's the clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger shooting they got the T2 Judgment Day. All right, so it is time to move on to the next subject, and that is Alvo. Alvo, you guys, has gotten a permanent price drop, which is huge news to me. And Alvo is now only $25. And that's the original price. I mean, I wanted it to be like $20 originally, but I think with what they've added, $25 is great. I spoke to Steve over there and a lot of the Alvo devs, and it sounded to me like they were trying to release the update, the Zombies update, at the same time as this price drop. But it all works, man. Like, I think this is still good. The fact that this happened, I'm really, glad that they listened to the community feedback and I think this is super cool, and I do recommend this game. Now, the one thing though is that I wanted to play it before the show today. I wanted to play it and check how well the online player base is doing. I imagine it's doing pretty well, but I wanted to get a firsthand look. But yeah, Alvo, $25. I highly recommend it. With now PS5 4K gameplay, that is like, I think you're confusing Alvo with Bravo Team. No, Alvo is fun, man. Alvo is pretty cool. I think you should play it with the Move controllers. And Genetic Blasphemy says, is that really a huge price drop? $15? Yeah, I'd say so. $15 off a game. That's a pretty big. It's a big deal, regardless of you think it's a big price or not. I think it's a huge deal. I think it's a great price for the game, a fair price for the game, and really cool. That was literally my only complaint about it, was the price originally. So I think that is awesome, and thank you to the devs there. Endeavor One asks, which games has the highest player count? Between the two, it's kind of hard to say. I would say I would think Firewall still slightly has the edge in terms of player base, but it's kind of seems like it kind of goes a little back and forth sometimes. But I don't know. I haven't been into either one. Last time I checked, it was like could be either one. Usually one or the other was pretty booming. I mean, if you just count any online game, Rec Room is the only game that has like a ton of active player base. Brax versus Beat Saber. I forgot Beat Saber now is multiplayer. Yeah, that probably has a really. I bet you. I wouldn't be surprised if that has a really active player base as well. They acknowledged PSVR being like a huge deal to them. That there's a lot of players that play Beat Saber on PSVR. Sergeant Frost said Firewall did let us down with no new maps. So, I mean, I don't think that's a letdown. I think that takes the fun and excitement out of the new seasons. But I don't think that's a letdown by any means because they spent 2 years post-launch giving us maps with every new season, giving us new maps and contractors. So, man, they got to be gearing up for, if they're going to be making another game, which I imagine they will, they got to be gearing up for the next game. It's probably don't have the resources or time to do that right now. Let's see. Fun fact, half of Rec Room is stuff Betty created, right? Yeah. I didn't I liked Solaris, but that player base, I mean, we tried to say that player base was basically dead after a week, and it's a fun game, but it doesn't have any depth to it. So it was kind of like, I don't know. I think I spent less on that game than I would like a laser tag, going out and playing some laser tag. So it was like half the price of doing that. So I felt like it was worth it. I would loved it. Hasib Mears says, any chance Sony releases some end of life PSVR stats? Probably not. I think this is the one thing, is that I think the new regime is that they've said before on record that they want the PSVR 2 to be an experience that's in line with PS5 quality-wise and everything. So I don't think they're going to be looking back as much as they are going to be looking forward. And I just really hope they double down on that, because I want them. I hope Sony knows how potentially huge PSVR 2 is going to be. I see all the time just anything they post about PSVR. All I see is I sold my PSVR. I'm waiting on PSVR 2. And I don't think Sony is clearly. They don't really seem to have any interest anymore in really trying to sell PSVRs anymore, PSVR 1s. But I hope that's just because they're gearing up to sell the next one. And that seems to be the case, with the better tracking and everything. I mean, I don't honestly have horrible tracking issues, but new users do. And, the more people can just pick up stuff and play it, the better. That's typically the joy of consoles, is that you're supposed to buy everything already in working condition, and that's going to be the number one thing to do there. So in other news, that was but yeah, anyways, like I said, Alvo being $25, that's awesome. I can't wait to check out the zombies update when that drops. But all right, so 2 more news announcements that we got. And everyone says their eye is on the prize. I sure hope so, man. I sure hope so. It seems like they've got, like I said, it seems like they got all the right resources. I just want them to capitalize on it, man. They could do so much more. I don't know if anybody else like studied this but when I was doing like some of my college courses, I remember one of the things in like our IT field was communication, and how important communication was. And as an example, now this isn't going to be the same situation, but as an example, they would always reference that the Challenger, when the Challenger spaceship shuttle exploded, it happened because of a miscommunication of a little tiny O-ring, which is like basically a little plastic rubber band circle that was supposed to be, and they were supposed to be made out of one material, and they weren't, and that's what caused the explosion of the Challenger, a probably multi-million dollar, multiple millions of dollars, lives were lost, and I'm not. It's kind of a weird comparison because I don't think it's exactly the same, but I am of the mindset that like over communication is better, double checking everything is better, transparency is better, and yeah, you just the more prepared. Most missions fail from lack of communication, right? Let's see here. But I use that as a reference too, and I really am of the mindset that every last detail matters and is important, and I never like to think that there's not an important detail. I think I drive Brian crazy with this shit too, because I'll be like so honed in on these little tiny details, and he's like, dude, I don't care. Like, he's like, we'll just do the show or whatever. And I'm like, no, but the thumbnail needs to be just right, and the title, the subject matter needs to be just right, and all these certain things. And yeah, I read into stuff maybe a little bit too much, but all right. Anyways, so moving on. Gravitational. Now, this was a game that I will be honest with you, I haven't been like very excited about or anything. However, they've released their release date trailer. It is coming out November 11th, and it's getting a deal with Perp Games. So I think it's going to have a physical as well, physical copy. What up, Pat Jandro? Thank you for joining. Yeah, so let me bring up the information on this game. Gravitational is a VR experience that takes place in an upward future where gravitational technology is being discovered. Experience Sebastian, a scientist in the apex of collapse inside Gravicorp's facilities, overcoming not only challenges on your way but also your traumas. In Gravitational, we are a few decades in the future, blah, blah, blah. So this game has actually kind of caught my interest a little bit. I'm not going to say it's a super exciting game, but it actually looks like it has a lot more to offer than you would think on the surface. I think it's pretty cool. The plot and whatnot. Wait, I thought I had this looped. Let me see, why isn't this looping? I guess I forgot to choose loop. But yeah, so November 11th, this will be coming out, and don't know a whole lot about it. I see people making some kind of like Portal references and whatnot, but we shall see. Steve says, wait, not excited for a puzzle game? I know, I am the puzzle guy. I, of all people, should be excited for a puzzle game. I know, it's crazy. Mark Soar, what's up, dude? Says, hoping it's more Gravity Rush than L Magnet. Yeah, that D Magnet game. Oh, I did not like that game. I mean, there's just like, I do get a little like, why is this game in VR sometimes? Like, I think, I think some games convert pretty well. But there are some that I'm just like being in VR does not make this more fun. It's not fun in VR. Sort of things. And I think this could be a cool little immersive adventure. Although I do find it funny that the main character looks like Michael B. Jordan. That's like who I thought it was when I first saw it. That dude's in everything nowadays. Multiplayer, Doom 3 multiplayer PvP. Yes, Brax Bro. So did the rest of us forgot D Magnet existed as well. No shame in that. But all right, so the final news story of today is some awesome news, and I'm going to tell you why it's awesome. It is, wait, did I not? Did I not label it here? It is Wanderer VR finally got its release date. Whoops. Yep, don't want to go in there. Wanderer VR. There we go. Bam. Got its release date. Wheeled time traveling tricks in Wanderer coming to PSVR January 27th. And there's some cool stuff in this article as well. But Sam Ramlou from M Theory and Odd Boy says, we're super excited to announce that you'll be able to don your time-traveling shoes on January 27th, 2022. Get ready to take a step back and forward in time as you attempt to prevent the collapse of civilization. This is, to me, one of the last remaining, most anticipated PSVR 1 games. And I think this game looks phenomenal. The Loop of the Gamecast says, one more puzzle game. Are you excited? I actually am excited for this game because that's the thing is some of the games that I liked, some of the puzzle games I really liked have been in VR, and it's been more when they're kind of disguised as a non-VR game. But when it feels more like an adventure, like Red Matter, Red Matter felt like a sci-fi, ominous, sci-fi, crazy, dark adventure. But you're actually solving puzzles the whole time, and it's just so fun and so well camouflaged that I thought it did a really, really good job with that. And this seems to be one of the same. They demonstrate lots of different immersive gameplay features in this game. They talk about some of the new things we can see and expect. It says time travel, black holes. Time travel within Wanderer is anchored in the concept of black holes and singularities, and harnessing these to manipulate time and space. Learn what it takes to manipulate time to help you help in your quest to reset the clock. Pretty cool looking stuff there. Neon Group says, I hope we can play the full set on the drum kit. Just need foot tracking. I know. Hotel R&R has a drum kit. At least it has a cowbell. That's the important part. It has the it has the cowbell. There's also a temporal transporter. Harnessing these black holes will need some management. Learn how to operate and program the mysterious time transporter. The more you progress and time jump, the closer you'll come to understanding the transporter, and more importantly, how to use it. It is interesting how there's you'll see some different icons and whatnot, like some glowing icons, some non-glowing ones kind of pop up. I thought that was pretty interesting to see there. But next we have the futures looking a bit gray. This is where I was like, okay, this is super cool. Messing with time can lead to multiple versions of the future. See Boston in 2061. So we'll get to travel to Boston in 2061 in a new light with a modern futuristic setting that's designed with all the mod cons one could dream of. Or is this a nightmare you were warned against? I love how they give us this quick glimpse at kind of a futuristic city. Look at that. Visually, this game just looks so impressive. And I think it's super cool. Justin Cassidy says, I got a fever. What up, Super Dexter Murphy? Good to see you. But yeah, I think this stuff looks really cool. And I love that there's a futuristic setting. I love that there's all sorts of stuff. The concept of time travel is really a fun concept to tinker with and makes for some entertaining stuff. But it's rarely executed well. And I have a good feeling about this game. I mean, everything I see about this game, if they even nail the story in this game, I think this is going to be a top 10 game. If this game has really memorable characters and really really well done story, it has the potential to be there because everything else seems just fine. There is full locomotion. There's a bunch of interactive stuff. I dig it, man. I'm not going to be expecting everything to be amazing, but just to have a little bit, temper my expectations a little bit. But I think all I'm saying is that it has the potential to be. Finally, the last thing is the Watch. Your trusted companion through the game is Samuel the Watch, as well as being an integral part of your journey. Samuel is useful in more ways than one, and you can upgrade your watch strap using items you find in your adventures. So there are upgrades to the watch as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, super cool stuff here, man. January 27th, Perp Games has announced that the physical version will be just a day later. So all you physical collectors out there, you will not have to wait very long, which is great. This is definitely one I would love to have a physical version of. Oh, why are you guys talking about frog legs? Because the frog that he grabs. I've had frog legs once. They are so gross. Same with escargot. The snails or whatever. I've tried them both. They're both very rubbery and taste bad. Don't recommend it. Brax Bro says, I'm praying that this isn't a frack situation where it's great, but there's one flaw that keeps it being an 8 out of 10 game at the very least. It's true. That is something that surprised us all, I think. I think we were a little worried about that, and it came true, and that's unfortunate. Because as a $30 game, you want something that's at least 5 hours long, I would think, and replayable at the very least. It's just, but if I still enjoyed a lot of Fract. I think it's a great game, but I definitely did not like how short it was, and I'm not really crazy about the whole, well, if you get the platinum and play it a million times, you can get 15 hours out of it. It's like, no, I want 15 hours of content, not replaying it 15 times. But visually, this is really impressive. What is up, Betty? Good to see you. But yeah, it was still a great game. This game could potentially be kind of short. I mean, the good thing is it's a puzzle game, so I'll be terrible at it, and it'll probably take me a little bit longer. I'm not expecting a super long game here, to be honest with you, but we'll have to find out. It seems like it at least has a ton of locations, like a lot of variety, a lot of meaningful stuff. I think they should not be afraid to kind of like, hopefully they aren't afraid here to like kind of slow the game down a little bit and really let like the build up happen. And I think they could get away with that here, but. Well, guys, that is it for now. I'll open up to any questions in the chat before we get out of here, but really appreciate all your support all week long. I know today was not the biggest news day, but we got some good stuff. And PSVR Gamescast Live will be returning on Monday. So, yeah, man. Anything you guys want to talk about before we get out of here? It's all right, Glacius. Ask me something. Brax Bro says, is there aim support? I don't think there's going to be aim support. Don't believe so. Shades of Gray Matter, did you cover those new patents? I did cover the one about the foveated rendering and eye tracking. That one's kind of a given. I think there was another one, though, something about like some market analyst that was saying that like PSVR 2 might be coming out. They talked about Apple, Oculus, and Sony's headsets. They said something about them, their like launch windows or something, and I think they actually said that they're expecting the PlayStation 1 to come out in like Q2 of 2022. I would love that, man. I hope that they would be ready if they did that. Like, but to me personally, I'm like, dude, just get the damn headset out. Like, especially if it has backwards compatibility, then it's like, yeah, if it has backwards compatibility and a couple launch games ready, then it is like, dude, get that thing out and going. The games will follow shortly after. People still need time to get PS5s. You can do showcase, but the longer it takes, I expect the longer we have to wait for PSVR 2, the higher my expectations are going to be for it. Let's put it that way, if that makes sense. That's what I think is going down. I mean, I still think it's going to be like the world to us, and it's going to be amazing. But but let's see here. But yeah, that one I didn't cover. Bob Zarkov says, have the devs made other PSVR games? I don't know. Alberto Mapom. Oh, wait, hold on. I got a donation from Creeper Betty. Says, I'm trying to reach Sony to get them to do an event. Nintendo is with us. They need to get on board. Yeah. Yeah, I hope you get in touch with them. There's like a Sony support thing. I think as long as people are vocal about it, this is what I do know is that typically over time when you see communities and comments and online people begging for something for long enough, it happens. We did this for 20 years with Final Fantasy VII, and we got that damn remake. And so never give up, man. Never surrender. Now, Alberto says, do you think PSVR 2 is having a good pass-through function or anti-furniture system? Yes, I think I actually wouldn't be surprised if the PSVR 2 does some kind of AR abilities, but maybe. The Quest does do like the Guardian thing, and it lets you see through it to kind of tell where you are. They could do that to keep the cost down. They might not though. If they could do it, but it could be more expensive, so they couldn't maybe not, and then and it would make it more expensive or less expensive. Shades of Gray Matter. There was another patent about filling in holes in images, especially mentioned VR. It sounds like another technique for reducing resources for VR. I don't know about that patent. I know there was the flexible scaling resolution thing as well. So, but I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work just yet. But it is supposed to work in tandem with the eye tracking and foveated rendering. Let's see. Yeah, to how much though? Check my dream stuff. If you like surrealism, we'll do Super Dexter Murphy. I think I got you on my friends list. I will check that out. I love dreams. I played the shit out of that Ghostbusters game some more. It's like really short, but it is so much fun, man. I swear. Let's see here. Does Sony have any talk of trying to do hand tracking at all? Well, if the headset does have the cameras that look outward, there's no reason why they couldn't do that. It's just the reliability of it is going to be how clear those cameras are. When we first got the PSI toy with the PS3, the camera quality was crappy as hell. So like there were some games like, what was that one? Kung Fu Live. And this was a PS3 game that it was so janky and bad, but I loved it. But it was called Kung Fu Live, and you put the camera on top of your TV, and you would stand in front of the camera, and it would put you in the game, and you'd punch left and punch right, and it would actually, like, that's how you move. Like, that was the locomotion because you didn't use a controller. And you could, like, kick the enemies that got near you and stuff. And it actually was really cool. The only problem was that the camera quality was so bad that it didn't really pick up well. So if they have really good tracking tech or really good camera technology in there, then and it can see everything pretty nicely, then it should work pretty well. Red Rover, the effing Game Cat, says, I haven't looked in quite a while. Are PS5s more accessible? Yes or no? Is a good enough answer. Yes, but it's not there yet because the demand is still really high, and you still have to be really quick. That'll be one thing that'll be interesting to see as well. If once how long until they start hitting stores, that's going to be a problem that's going to be facing for a little while. I would like that too. Time to play Game Cats. Let's see. Have I dreamed it? Is there in real life there was a Gran Turismo in VR? Yeah, I mean, I think Gran Turismo 7 is an absolute given for PSVR 2. I'm telling you, man, selling headsets is the number one priority. People will buy the games after. You get the headsets out there. You go on the big stage. You say, hey, we've got Gran Turismo. We've got Grand Theft Auto. We've got Resident Evil Village. They will sell headsets that way, and then everybody benefits from it. Indie devs will benefit from it as well. Tons of people. Wolveraza says Forza VR would be awesome. Man, I almost wanted to tweet at Phil Spencer and be like, dude, just make a VR headset, and I will buy it just for Forza. I've only had an Xbox for a total of like 1 month my entire life. But I had Forza Horizon 3, and it's so good. It is a really good game, and the new Forza looks really fun. I would love it. Sergeant Frosty with the donation says, Frosty Express going off the rails on the Frosty Express. I'm sorry, I won't ever sing again. Let's see here. FBT, I had a dream about VR game the other night. Forgot what it was though. Straight up, yeah, Forza's good, man. Yo, why are you not talking about the Sony patents? I don't know. Let's see here. Well, guys, I hope you got some great plans this weekend. I hope it clears up. I have a fire pit in my backyard that I've wanted to use, and I went to go use it the other night. Finally, I bought s'mores and stuff to use it, and it started raining, so it got rained out from my fire pit. I was really bummed about that, but do recommend fire pits. Your most time to play. I'm most excited about the eye tracking characters. If you are looking at them. Interesting. Like if you're looking at them and they look at you, yeah. Having eyes following you in VR, that might be kind of creepy, but let's see. Oh, Brax Bros says, holy crap. Let's see. It's like rain on your fire pit. Arashi, what up, Pat Jandro? I don't know why you're yelling Arashi, but I agree. Arashi is so badass, man. Such a fan of that. AJ filling our song quota. Yep. I think I went over the quota there. Let's see here. Yeah, man. Plans for this weekend. We got Saturday night live stream tomorrow night. Oh, I'm so glad I mentioned that actually, because I need to record. I need to record my library. Look, you know what's funny? I'll tell you a little fun fact. Oh, actually, I didn't even notice this was going on. That thing you see in the bottom, that is actually dreams happening right then and there. That is actually dreams playing in the background. That is capturing from my PS5. Look, I've got it all set up still. We are ready for Saturday Night Live stream, baby. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Dreams is so cool, man. Let's see, rudder only stream. I don't have a stream anymore. What is a s'more? It is a whatchamacallit? It's a graham cracker with marshmallow and melted chocolate and stuff. There's some cool stuff here, man. I'm such a fan of Dreams. I play it all the time. Here's that Ghostbusters game. It's good stuff, man. Corrupted Escalation. Is this that? Yeah, this is by Intrateka. This is by the guy that made Dream Space. I haven't played this yet. Here, let me move this chat overlay thing. Wait, do I have like a full screen I can do here? That's like from my Hitman stream from forever ago. Let's see. How do we? Let's take a quick look at this Doom inspired thing. A Cuphead dream. Yeah, I don't know if it would be any good though. Let's see. Chat overlay. Let's get rid of that. Am I actually playing right now? I can't even tell. I love Dreams, you guys. Dreams is so cool. Bonus stream. Corrupt Escalation here. Where's that other thing? There we go. Now you might be able to see a little bit more. This is made by the guy that made Dream Space VR, which is really cool. Next gen console has been detected. Congratulations. Sweet. I get benefits from... Oh, shit. No. I don't need a tutorial for this. Okay. Oh, this looks pretty cool. Let's see. Settings. I don't think I need the... Let's go back on here. I don't think I actually need... Oh, God. I'm not used to playing flat screen games. Okay, return. Okay. Glacius Dreams. Thank you for the donation. Why do I feel like this is moving for me? That's so weird. Okay. All right. Yep, you can double jump in this. That's cool. What the hell just happened? Quick swap weapons. Okay. I don't... Hold on. I want to go back to... Let's reset the progress. I just want to play the... I want to just play the beginning. Well, this is fun, guys. I hope you don't mind I'm doing this. It's kind of weird and random, but, you know, I guess that's just how things go sometimes. Let's continue. I didn't mean to press. Let's just start the game. I just want to see here. We can turn up a little volume here too. Where's the in-game thing? Here we go. Got some in-game volume. I have no idea if the volume levels are good or not, but let's see here. This is what happened. I'm so ADD, man. I just like started playing a game. I'm so sorry about this. It's super cool though. Let's see. Wave Defense Endless Extreme. Can I shoot this guy? This is supposed to be a pretty cool game though. Now I'm interested. See, can I read the comments? The level editor in Tenchu. Yeah, I wanted to pick up Tenchu again. Let's see. Wave Defense Casual. None of that casual crap. Wave Defense Endless. Let's see. Endless Extreme. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. 22 unique waves. The last 5 cycles endlessly. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Here we go. Wave 1. Let's see. Is it just a wave shooter? I don't know. I guess it maybe is a wave shooter. Woo! Oh, that's cool. That's like some Quake stuff. So I imagine this is pretty difficult. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm so bad with just a regular DualShock. I'm so used to VR. I've played so many shooters lately that I'm just like, oh, you have so much more control in VR. It just makes it so much cooler. Oh, I'm getting rocked. Can I reload? Oh, there's different music tracks. Oh, this is interesting. What was that? I guess I don't know all the controls. Is the gun heated up? What's going on here? Oh, there we go. This is a different gun. Get wrecked! Oh yes, missile launcher. Oh, you love it. You love it. Cool stuff, guys. Yeah, I wonder if that has a VR mode. I'll have to see. Yeah, you might be able to play this in VR. Actually, this is something I played on Halloween. This was absolutely amazing. I played this in VR, and it looks stunning on the PS5. But this was my Halloween game. I meant to stream it. I just got a little tied up. But you actually walk around. It looks like this good in VR as well. This was so cool, though. It's an actual, like, entire neighborhood that you can walk around in. And it looks really, really good. And it slowly turns into night. And, like, everything, like, changes to... everything changes, like lights turn on and all this stuff. It's called a Halloween Dream, and you basically just have like a timed amount to find these collectibles. This was absolutely incredible, though. It looks so good, especially in the headset. It almost looks better in VR than it does flat screen right now. It's crazy. I guess you get that depth and it hides some of the stuff. Yeah, Dreams is getting crazy, man. I mean, this is like, look at this. Look how good this looks. I mean, it looks that good in the headset, too. Oh, there we go. There we found something. This was a fun thing to play on Halloween, though. But yeah, gotta play this, and I hope I get to another chance to... I want to do another Dream stream soon. That'd be a lot of fun. Oh, look. There's some stuff. Look at that shit. That's so cool. Oh, it's so cool. Super Dex says most of my dreams have aim support. Good. I will check them out. I love Dreams with aim support. Look how good the way this all looks is just and it looks this good in the headset, I swear. Look how sweet that is. Why does Halloween have to be over? It won't be. It won't be for long. Guys, wait, that was the wrong one. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Happy Friday. I hope you all have a great rest of the week. And yeah. Like I said, the game will, regular Games Cast will return on Monday. That was a Halloween Dream. Thank you guys so much, man. I hope you have a fun weekend. I'll see you tomorrow on Saturday Night Live stream, and I'll try to get a video up tomorrow morning where you can see the full list of games to choose from. Make it a little easier. Guys, have a wonderful Friday night. Be safe out there. Love each other. Carpe weekend, like Anakin says. Thank you. Later, y'all.